What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Welcome to Saturday. Today is a Patrons Pick episode, and they picked the QMX by QRP Labs. We're going to be talking about all kinds of enhanced features and capabilities that you may or may not know about. I do have a number of skilled and experienced individuals on who have activated and used that radio far more than me. So get ready, get your pencils and papers handy to take notes, and we'll get started real soon. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Thanks for coming on out again on your busy weekends. I have two busy weekend warriors myself here waiting in the wings to come on and talk about the QRP Labs QMX. I think you know about this radio. If you haven't, well, this is going to be a lot of fun. A fantastic radio, particularly for the price point. I think it's basically unbeatable. I'll make sure to poll my guests when we get to that. But first, hey, look at that. Nothing's working. Love that. Love that when nothing's working. We definitely love that for the live stream. Let's go. Try that again. Go check out hamtactical.com for all your ham radio comedic funny needs, particularly if you listen to the podcast. I'd really appreciate you checking it out. hamtactical.com. I am having Adam K6ARK on the show. You can check out the links in the video description for that. He is on YouTube. A lot of what he does is available. You can see how-tos and all kinds of fun activations that Adam has done, including that with the QMX. I've also got Mark. He's joining us from Soda Plus. Soda Plus, great channel, doing all kinds of fun stuff. Soda related, but they started a podcast with one N6ARA that I've had a lot of fun listening to. So go check them out. You can find that there. Also, avid QMX users, both he and his wife Dee, I believe. He'll answer me. I believe Dee actually built her own QMX and then used that to activate, which was like a big thumbs up on that one. So what the heck are we talking about? Well, it's a kit radio. It's $102. That's for a kit, right? So if you want someone else to build it, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. It's about $50 more. That's it. All in, you get a couple different band options, 5 bands, I believe, and you can select if you want a low-banded one or a high-banded one. You can see I have one right there selected for 20 through 10 meters. Which right now, that's a good band set. Maybe as we go to solar minimums, you might want to consider the low band set. But do heed. If you do go and you buy one of these, in red here, Hans, the creator of this, makes a note of saying, you're going to be on a waiting list. And he publishes that waiting list, and I'd like to show you what that looks like now. So there is a lot of orders in place for this radio. These are all individual orders that are waiting for their radio to be assembled. And so let's just go down the list here. May. We're still in May, guys. May. Still in May. Oh, man. June. Now we're in June. And July. We're not too far away from July. Yeah, so there's a lot of these radios there that are in demand for people to build one for them. So if you can build this on your own, highly recommended you trying doing that, okay? Highly recommended. But let's bring on the guests, and we'll talk a little bit more. Gentlemen. Oh, I'm covering up Mark's head here. Shoot. Let's adjust this really fast. How are you all doing today?
Doing well. Just got home from Idaho on a fun fishing and mountain climbing trip, and I'm happy to be back in SoCal, although Idaho was pretty darn amazing.
Yeah, what I saw a picture of some fish, but what else did you tackle while you were out there?
Yeah, so the main goal of the expedition was to try to get an 80-year-old guy on our mountain rescue team up Bora Peak, the highest point in Idaho. And we made it most of the way up, but it turned out to be just a little bit too much for him. It's about 8 miles round trip with over about a mile of gain and loss, so 5,200 something feet of gain and loss in 8 miles, which is insane. So,
that's intense. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you activate while you were out there? Did you do any parks or summits?
Yeah, I was able to activate one summit that had never been activated before. It's a backcountry peak called the Fin, and that was also happened to be my double mountain goat activation. So I hit 2,000 points while I was up there.
Is the Fin something like one of those crazy things where you need ropes to get to the top of, or is it? When something's called the Fin, it makes me think that there's a bit more to this.
There is fall hazard. We didn't bring ropes, but it's class 3. Some of the routes we got a little off route and probably did a little bit of class 4. So we're basically climbing on pretty steep stuff with good handholds, but not quite technical rock climbing, but definitely some fall hazard and kind of exciting.
Well, we're glad you're with us. Thank you
Indeed.
for joining us. Yeah. And then next to Adam is Mark, Soda Plus. How you doing, buddy? You had a busy day too, right?
I had a busy day. I actually got home 10 minutes ago. So
yep,
I'm not clean right now. But
well, thank you for throwing all the gear on the ground and immediately hopping on the live stream. I appreciate that.
But the QMX is actually still hot from the mountain. So we just activated with this today. Mm-hmm. And the band conditions were trash. So we did sideband, CW, we did FT8, all off the QMX in my phone. And so I think we're going to have a lot of fun talking about that today as my radio comes back from the 93-degree hike that we just got off of.
Yeah, it's kind of warm here. So you saw highs of 93 while you were out there hiking?
Yeah, with no shade. So Aura was just bleeding water.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, let's dive into it then. QMX, you both are users of it, builders of it, and I know Adam has had lots of different small-ish, QRP radios. Some he built that are just amazingly tiny. And Mark, I think you pretty much love the QMX for all it offers. But why do you both like the radio so much? I don't know if it's your primary radio for Soda, but what are some of the reasons you like it so much?
Go ahead, Mark. I'll let you take it first.
All right. Well, I mean, just look at how big this thing is. You can just stick it in your pocket. It's really hard to argue with a 5-band radio. I think it's 5 the way I've got it set up right now, but it's tiny. And, the entire kit, this is an ARK antenna. So that's the kit, right? I can throw this into any backpack I've got. And because it has all of those modes, it's tools in the tool bag. And so if, like today, the band conditions aren't very good, you hop over to FT8. If you want to get more information away and you've got somebody local that you've got line of sight to, then you flip to sideband. There's just nothing else like this that you can always take and afford to break, frankly. It's a beater radio for me. And then
that's a good point.
You've got attachments that make it easy. You got 3D printed covers, and once that thing's on, you can do anything to this radio and it's going to be fine. So it's my go everywhere radio. I take it to pretty much all my summits, even if I'm taking a KX2, because if the KX2 breaks, this thing's going to work.
Okay. And how about you, Adam?
Yeah. So when the QMX first came out and we were all starting to build it and put it together, I'll take a step back actually. When Hans presented it and started selling it at 4 Days in May, when he made that presentation, and he talked about how you could build it in 2 versions, 10 through 20 meters or 20 through 80 meters, and he said that sideband was coming at some point and he didn't know when. I thought, man, this could be like the next big Soda radio, but there's a couple problems there, right? Sideband's important for a lot of people, and it's a really nice to have thing on a Soda radio, so you can work those summit-to-summit contacts, or park-to-park if you're doing POTA. If you're not just a CW op too, that's a big selling point, obviously, for the radio if you don't want to just work digital. But the one of the barriers to me initially there was the band selection, right? A 20 through 10 meters and 20 through 80 meters. Really what's ideal for Soda, and I told Hans this at 4 Days in May, I was like, you got to do a 15 through 40 version, because that's like 15, 20, and 40 are the bread and butter bands for any of those portable operating activities. So he figured that out and made a version that I think does 15 through 60. And then Dan, AI6XG, another ham friend, figured out a way to kind of tweak the filters a little bit and to get it to work on 10 through 40. which is kind of a partially undocumented mod. He documents it on his website. I'll post that in the chat for people who are interested. So that's how I built mine. And in that configuration with sideband working, I dare say it's really pushing on that KX2 as the ultimate portable radio for this kind of operating.
Regarding that mod, if somebody wants to do that, will it work with any of Hans's kits now? Do you have to get a certain band spread to get ready to do that?
You know, it's easiest, I think, with the 20 through 10 kit.
Okay.
And you do have to purchase a few parts. I think some alternate toroids, if I remember correctly, and perhaps a few extra capacitors to switch in and kind of modify the filters to be optimized for that set of bands. It's also a little fidgety and kind of close to the harmonic limit, so it does take a little bit of more careful tuning and attention to detail when you're building it that way.
We should mention too, this is a kit for a lot of folks. You can of course get it pre-assembled, sure, and there's nothing wrong with that in this case with this radio, because it is, I would say, upper intermediary build level, like particularly with how tight things are. It's not an easy build. Would you say that, Adam? Mark, what would you?
Yeah, it's small parts, tight tolerances, and you do have to do a little bit of tweaking. That said, his instructions are exceptional, and if you do as he says and follow his guidance and really read those instructions, read each section before you do, and make sure you understand it, it'll come out just fine. You won't have issues with it.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
All the surface, as Jody says, all the surface mount components are pre-installed, which is key.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Mark? What do you think?
I'll be honest. I screwed up my first build.
I screwed up a QCX, but I've done a QDX and a QMX. I've done two QDXs, but anyway, yeah, I've killed one too.
Yeah, so I've built a couple QCXs. The first QMX I built, everything worked except for the firmware. There was like one pin that wasn't right. And in the process of trying to debug that, we smoked it.
Oh, no.
And so that became a parts donor radio. And the second QMX, once I did what Sean said and RTFM'd, the build was very straightforward. It was just a lot of care and love.
Yeah, but D did build one successfully, right? Was I correct in that?
He built a QCX.
QCX, okay, got it. Yeah.
And the reason is D is a technician, and she said, I only want to do 40 meter CW. Why would I build a radio that does anything besides that?
Any band she wants to operate it on, as long as it's 40 meters. That's right, yeah.
Absolutely. Any color you want, as long as it's black.
Yeah. So a lot of folks have bought these, because I'm not new to doing videos on this one, and there's a ton of videos out there on YouTube. And it's a radio where Hans continues to upgrade it. Firmware update just came out, I think, in June, so recent, and he continues to add things, including like single sideband. And for proof of life, I'll tune over to that as we get through this, as we get started. But it sounds fantastic. It sounds fantastic on CW, single sideband, and it works digital over USB-C. So it's kind of like a hard radio to pass up on. But just an open, throwing it to whoever wants to jump in. Maybe we start with single sideband, since that's probably where people will find, I think a lot of people are coming towards it. Are there any things we need to like immediately do when we get this radio and we get it up and running that you would say you should do immediately to get the most out of it?
What do you think, Mark?
I think Mark's got some ideas.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I did is build a mic, because there's not a lot of commercial mics that are ready to go. Hans doesn't sell one, but fortunately Adam does. And so I have a QMX build of the K6ARK mini mic. I wish it were smaller.
I have, well, we know that's a thing. Yeah, there it is. Wait, let me go back here. So that's the smaller mic. If you watched my field day activation, you saw the new K6ARK mic. And that's a true thing, and Hans does talk about that, where the little mini mic, he does have a recommendation for what elements you should use, and he talks about that on his single sideband kind of like blog post that he made not too long ago. Because I think, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, I believe that the single sideband internal mic that this does have is not active. Is that true right now?
That's true. It's currently used for noise cancellation.
Oh,
but I personally have gotten the best results by turning noise cancellation off and just turning down the gain on a good high performance electret and using it that way. If you have a good electret, that's all you need.
And it's not just good, but it has to be a highly sensitive one. It needs to put out enough signal to kind of get beyond the interference that's in the circuit, so it doesn't self-interfere itself into oscillations and noise and just make a horrible sound like mine did when I first tried it.
Yeah, so
and it's worth noting.
Go ahead.
It's worth noting that the ones that are sensitive enough for the QMX are actually a little bit too sensitive for the KX2.
Yes, that's a good point too. We did a whole video on building the K6ARK mics, and we actually did a A/B comparison between a couple of different mic elements to find out which one works best. And yes, the QMX mic does not sound as good, although it's close with the KX2. So they're not pinned the same either, right, Adam?
They are.
Are they?
No, they're flipped.
Oh, they are flipped.
They're flipped, but you can get a MIDI crossover adapter if you want to use the same mic for both that switches the tip and the ring.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The tip ring
wiring.
Sleeve. For the wiring of the mic, correct. Yeah, the QMX is the pin out on the QMX is different for the microphone and the PTT than the KX2.
Yeah, so to be clear, just to clarify, Williams, he said swap the board mic for Adam's mic. There's nothing really wrong with the mic on board. Hans may want to favor a more sensitive unit now, but what we're saying is that you kind of have to run an external microphone if you want to do single sideband. You actually have to have a PTT mic to be able to use it. So that's the clarification on that point. But as far as like settings in the radio, this actually there's a lot to this. Did you do any particular tuning on your radio for single sideband?
Yeah, so there's a process that you can go through to I believe essentially what it's doing is measuring the distortion of the amplifier, so it pre-distorts to accommodate for that, and it's doing that through signal that it's picking up internally to the radio, and it measures that and goes through this tuning process and sends different tones through the audio system out the amplifier and determines what sort of the optimization is for your radio. It still operates, basically adaptive pre-distortion, Don. So it still operates just fine without doing that because of the settings that Hans built into the firmware ahead of time. But that just helps give it a little bit of optimization.
Now, I was going to demonstrate this live, and then I did it earlier today, and it takes a while. So this is something where you put the radio on a dummy load, and I actually use Putty. I guess I can show people how to actually get it started, but I'm not going to run through it. But it'll run through a console application on your computer, and it'll actually show you the plots as it's going through every band and doing this kind of transmit audio comparison against what it's seeing. It's a really cool feature. You should absolutely do this. Just make sure that you have a dummy load connected. It's a hugely important thing because you will blow it up. Mark, you did the calibration as well on your one there?
Yeah, I've done the calibration a couple times. And you mentioned Putty, by the way. That application does more than just this calibration. It lets you enter a ton of different settings on the radio. So we should come back to how to use Putty later. So I ran.
Did I lose you? Sorry, that was I was turning on the radio. So you can hear that. Wow, okay, I didn't expect that. That's crazy. Sorry about that. We turned it down. Oh, wait, hold on. We lost audio. Oh, somebody said we lost audio. Hold on. You can hear me though, everybody? That's weird. How'd we lose no audio from guests? How the heck did I do that? But those are different feeds. Those are totally different input feeds. All right, let me hop out of the room really fast and then rejoin. Let me see if that works. Oh, I have to end it. I will make Adam the host. And I'll be right back. Yeah, danger. All right, I have left the meeting. You gotta love trying to do this all live. Nope. Yeah, you're still not there yet. Okay. No, I hear you all, but that was not what was supposed to happen. So let me close Zoom and reopen it. Hold on. Gotta love it. Every time. I'm not sure what caused that, actually, because all this stuff was wired up. Ooh, let's see if that works. Oh, interesting. So I still don't have your audio. Hold on. Let me see if we can fix this. Of course. Oh. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let's see if this fixes it. One more. Where did it go? That's really weird. I've never had that happen before. No? You can hear the radio. Can you hear the radio? That is wild. Okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to do because... Man, I'm not sure how to fix this. Yeah, you can't hear them, though. You hear a bit of an echo. Okay, hold on. Talk?
You're good now.
Oh! What? What? I think they can hear you.
For everybody else.
Yeah, so wait, what happened there?
Mark,
I'm using...
This is a check of the Mark audio system.
So here's an interesting thing. This is totally in the weeds for everybody, but we lost. There they are. Okay. So what I use is my mic is mono, and it's just dual channel mono. Don't mess with me, Adam. Jesus, it's dual channel. I just say, hey, it's mono, so it takes the left and right, and it balances them out. But when I turn the radio on and I'm using the right channel, which I fade left and say it's mono, it drops this audio chain. I have never seen that before. So that's wild. So, okay, I learned something. So whenever we do an audio test, I'm going to have to make sure that we go back and forth. That's crazy. I had no idea that was going to happen. So, wow. Okay. What if I set it to something? Hold on. No, I'm not going to mess with it. Best not to mess with it. We will just run with it. Okay, so sorry about that. Let's pretend none of that happened, right? Mark, you were going to say something. What is it? Where were you at?
I completely lost my train of thought.
We were talking about, it was the configuration for single sideband, like what configurations you did. Yeah.
Yeah, tuning stuff. Yeah, so you run the calibrations, and then you set the amplitude of the mic. Some mics will need to be at the the 70 range. Some are, I have the DigiKey element, and that takes on my radio 35 for the mic gain. And then at that point, you have a ton of adjustments. Most of them you don't need to touch unless you later decide there's a reason to. So at that point, what I did is I I took my mic, I took my radio, I plugged it into a dummy load, and then I started transmitting to my KX2. And I just listened to myself coming through the sideband from the QMX to see if it sounded good. And what I found is that was it. If you just run those calibrations, set the mic gain, yeah, it sounds great. The AGC actually works pretty well. There's a little bit of compression that I like. I have my compression set at 10, and that brings up the overall transmitted power just a hair without causing noticeable distortion.
Now I can show that. I've gone back to a speaker, so I won't mess with the audio going forward. But we can show that. So, Mark, if you want to kind of point people in the right direction here, where are we going for this? So we're gonna start this. Well, let's see. We'll see what happens when I turn this on. Hopefully, don't lose you guys. You still there? Oh, we did lose you. Ah, wait a second. Wait. Okay, I think we might have figured it out. Hold on. Let's see. Are you back?
Are we back?
Yeah, okay, let me try this. Hold on. And you still there?
Audio check 1,
yeah.
2.
Okay, I know what it is. All right, we got it. We good.
Okay.
It was the USB. It just turning the radio on was kicking off the audio on Zoom. So keep that in mind, everybody.
That's funny.
That is
Interesting.
funny. I did not expect that. But within the radio itself, so if you long press the menu button,
Yep.
And then where are we going from there?
Well, I actually did all of my adjustments on Putty because you can adjust every piece of the settings through Putty, and it's a lot faster that way.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I guess we would let's just dive into this one a little bit.
But if you go into SSB, the settings are there.
Okay, so under SSB you have transmit EQ.
And I'm following along on my radio here.
Your mic AGC.
Yeah, mic AGC, filter RX, TX, and then you have mic gain.
Mic gain, yes.
There you go. So on mine, I have that set at 35.
Oh, so you dropped it down a little bit using the element that Hans recommends?
Using the element that Hans recommends, but following the directions to check how the element responds to my voice volume and my specific radio. Mm-hmm. So everybody's going to go through that process and find their own happy spot.
Okay.
And then right after that, then you have mic compression.
Let's see. So under...
if you go back to SSB...
Yes.
There you go. So on mine, I have that set to 10, and that's gotten great results.
I guess that compression, if you're adding compression, then you probably do want to dial back the gain a little bit. But so maybe I'll just draw mine back to 45 right now. Oop. Yeah. Okay. What else did you do for a single sideband? Anything? Or I guess there is something. There is a crazy setting. You actually educated me about this, Mark. What's that crazy mode that they use for this?
Yeah, and I saw people in the comments saying that they want to hear you talk about this. So if you flip forward a couple menu settings, you'll find one that says CESSB. And that is controlled envelope single sideband.
Is it still in single sideband where that's at?
It's still in single sideband. There you go. And you have it turned on.
Yes.
So the challenge with single sideband is you generally with an envelope that can vary wildly, and you don't want to have overshoots versus what you can do in the linear regime of your amplifier. Because if you do that, then you start to get a lot of distortion. So what's nice about controlled envelope single sideband is it's a way to prevent overshoots while allowing you to have a higher average transmitted power. So it makes a radio like the QMX, which is a little 5-watt QRP radio, have a signal that's closer to a 10-watt or 13-watt single sideband radio that doesn't have this controlled envelope feature. So it's a really beautiful implementation that Hans has done, and it makes the single sideband much more valuable.
Yeah, it sounds good too. It generally makes you much more audible on the air. So everybody, when we did that live audio comparison, I had CESSB on when we were doing it, and generally the QMX was just a little bit punchier, and I don't even think that I had compression turned on when we did those audio tests. So you can go back and listen to those, or we can test it in a little bit here. I think I fixed it. So we should have radio noises coming through right now. So good. We can test that in a little bit. There is like some kind of contest going on right now that I noticed.
Yeah, there was a
I don't
lot
know
of
what it
people
is.
calling CQ contests today.
So the mic gain. Do we need to do anything with the mic gain?
We did the mic gain. We set that at about 35
Oh,
or
I don't
50
know
in
that
your
I
case,
did.
48.
Oh, sorry. AGC I meant.
AGC, I have mine set to on. And I have some settings. I don't know if they're great or not, but I will say the radio is very usable.
Yeah, and for everybody that's listening too, I should also clarify that the radio works fine, just out of the box, if you will, or out of the freshly built kit status that you have. Once you throw firmware on it, it's pretty much good to go. You don't need to do a lot. Like, this is kind of like adding a little extra bit to it, and maybe customizing it a little bit for your own voice, which, that's what the radio will help you do that. So it is actually really useful in that sense, because you can kind of experiment with it, and you can really kind of tune it for your precise desires as far as radio operations go, which is good because everybody's voice is a little bit different. So, okay, so then CW. Anything special we got to do for, or Adam, did you have anything you wanted to add to the single sideband stuff? Sorry.
No, I think that covers it probably better than I would. I didn't even dive that deep. I proved it was working on mine and got some odd settings sorted out. One thing I did note was that some of the settings in that ended up in my QMX, I think just got kind of funky because of I didn't update firmwares in order. I jumped from like one way down the line to another. And something went a little haywire in that process, and I ended up with I can't even remember which setting it was, but for one of the settings, the range is supposed to be 0 to 100, and the value that was in there was like 225. So, so it wrote an invalid value in there that made things all messed up. And just by manually adjusting without even going into Putty to directly enter things, I was able to get it back into the proper range, got it set correctly, and that sorted things out. So I think the tip there is that if it's not working for you and something's going haywire, look through those settings and try to see what kind of the default settings are, or spin the dial and try different settings, and make sure it's in a proper range for that parameter.
Yeah. Okay. So then I guess let's slide on over to CW. You're both CW operators as well, and I imagine single sideband probably has like more tweaks you can do, but maybe I'm wrong. What if anything did you have to do to kind of make your Morse code operating a little bit more effective?
I don't recall having to do too much tweaking with Morse code. I think the initial tuning that you need to do after you build, I believe when they come from the factory, they're probably already checked and tested and properly tuned. But one of the common failure modes in building is not getting enough enamel off of some of the wires for the filter toroids.
Yeah.
And you definitely want to run through all of your system checks using that Putty tool that Hans guides you through in the manual before you go out and try to operate with it. And you'll figure out pretty quick whether you have an issue or not. And again, that real common failure mode is just not getting enough of that enamel off, because there are a number of, I think it's a 6-layer board if I remember correctly, or an 8-layer board, I don't remember, but there's a lot of copper in there, which makes for a big heat sink. And when you have a big heat sink, it's hard to get enough heat into the wire and the part to get that enamel to burn off and get a good solder joint. So
that has always been my bane of kit building, is getting the enamel off. I've tried all kinds of different ways of doing it, and none of them are like outstandingly better than any others. You just kind of have to take your time with it. Is there like the greatest hack you've ever seen for doing that?
I think the biggest tip, and I think just a general common failure mode for a lot of people in soldering, including for my kits, is not having a hot enough soldering iron. Hot is good, and then people also want to go down to a small tip on their soldering, get those tiny little pencil tips, but it's really hard to get enough heat into the part if you have too small of a tip. So I use the standard chisel or wedge shaped tip on the Hako soldering iron, and even for what is it, 060, 03, and 0804 components, I'm using that chisel tip because I want to get enough heat into the part. And I have my temperature set up, I think, around 800 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh,
So I keep it hot.
800.
Yeah.
I did not expect that. I've heard. I was expecting 750, but you hit us with an 800. Wow.
I do 800. Hot.
I
and
also
fast.
use 800.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, that's the most shocking thing I've heard all live stream. I think is the 800. Did not expect an 800. I'm gonna have to try that. Yeah. Even chat's like, man, there you go. Plus, also with the mass of a chisel tip, you really just got to be in and out. Kind of. You got to be decently fast when you're using that kind of temperature, I assume.
You know, parts and boards can handle a lot more heat than you think.
Okay.
What they don't handle is mechanical force on them for the most part, and that's where people damage boards. Is they push the soldering iron tip onto something and try to push a part off or give some pressure on it, and that's where you get some real damage. So
we definitely have some people were infuriating in the chat. No, not 800. But now, so for desoldering 800, yeah, absolutely, that's great. I will have to try. I will have to try the 800. I'm willing to do it. If Mark and Adam are saying, yeah, go for the 800. I like it. Okay. Now, as far as CW goes, I guess we should probably show everybody that's watching at home here. The radio is incredibly simple to operate, and actually, the fact that there's so much in it and you can still operate it fairly easily. So I'm going to back out. This is like your main screen. And there is a dual channel if you were so inclined. Not dual channel like you're operating at the same time or anything. It's just the one. But you can switch between them. I generally just leave it on A. But changing modes, right? Oh, we didn't actually get to that yet. We'll have to get to that. But changing modes is easy. You just double click your volume knob. And, oh, that's band. Sorry. It's single click. I forgot. Also, it's those push button dials, so they can be a little touchy. But yeah, if you watch here, now we're in CW mode. And yeah, you then just change your VFO. You click the tune button, and it moves the underscore underneath where you're tuning to. So we'll slide down to the CW portion of the band. But yeah, it's very easy radio to do. I should show off my my display settings though. That is something I did do. Do you guys have any special display settings that you use for this?
you're a little hot on the radio audio there.
Yeah.
The radio audio?
I would drop
It's
the
very
volume
loud.
because it's
Yeah.
clipping.
Oh, you're hearing it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's better.
Oh,
Yeah. Thank you.
okay. Sorry. I apologize.
I had two more code things that I wanted to share.
I was thinking that you guys were like live streaming with me, but you're not. You're directly in the Zoom, so you're not through the chain of where I'm controlling the muting. So you've just been listening to background noise this whole time. That's crazy. I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Mark. What were you gonna say?
Yeah. So in the latest firmwares, Hans put in Morse code filters. So you can have a 300 hertz filter or 500, 400. You can program your own filters and change the Morse code frequency to suit what your ears like. And I love tuning that up because if you've got a really weak signal, dropping it down to 150 hertz filter is very helpful. But if you've got a pile up and you're trying to pick out people who have distinctive tones, widening it out to 500 can be helpful. I know Adam is a big fan of 300, and that's mostly where I leave mine.
So what's how do you do that? Is that under the menu, or how do we go about
Under
that?
menu and then CW. Let's see. There we go. And then flip over, and you should have filters. And there you go. So your 50 hertz filter is disabled. You can turn it on and off.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So you can choose which filters you want to have for quick access.
So let's try the 300. So I'll turn that on.
Yeah.
And we'll give it a listen to on the radio here. Now you should hear things. Hold on.
So I think if you enable a few of those, then you'll be able to easily switch between them and hear.
Exactly.
How do you
So you
switch through them quickly? How do you do that?
Let's see if I can bring up mine and sanity check it.
A 400 seems good for me, and 500 as well. I think 50 and 100 might be too small for my ears,
but turn them on and you know, get like maybe a 50, 100, 300, and 500. That's a good way to compare how it sounds.
Because then once you've turned those on, you can choose your CW pass band.
Mm-hmm.
So you're choosing which filters you want on the radio. And then once you have those programmed in, then you can just flip around inside the pass band and choose whichever ones you want.
Now, how do you actually switch between the filters live like that?
Yeah. So go back to the CW menu.
Uh-huh.
Yep. You got it?
Yep.
So go to CW and then find CW pass band. Does it exist? There it is.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can change your filter.
Ah,
and those should look familiar. Those are the ones you chose.
Right. Okay. Well, let's give a listen to that then. So let me go back out here. Make sure we're on a semi-decent frequency. So we should. Can you hear the audio again?
Nothing to us here. Nope.
But is it going to the internet?
It may be.
There it is.
Oh, there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that sounds like a 50 hertz filter.
That is a tight filter.
Yeah. And it's worth noting that the bandwidth of Morse code depends on the sending frequency of the Morse code. So more words per minute equals more bandwidth. And so if you dial down the bandwidth too much, you actually won't be able to hear high-speed CW.
Ah. There is somebody in there.
They're weak, but yeah, they're there. Oh yeah,
and they're fast. So okay, good. Let's change that.
Yes. Much better.
Wonder if I'm not on him correctly. Oh my God. We found someone.
Oh wait, hold on. You have a beer. Why don't I have a beer? Hold on.
We'll listen to radio noises while you go get yourself a beer.
I take objection to not having a beer. We're fixing that.
Okay, there you go.
All right.
So you can kind of hear the difference there in ease of copyability of that high-speed code.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a kind of a medium strength signal too. And when you have a super weak signal that you're trying to pull out of the noise, sometimes it can help to just dial that filter down a little bit narrower and eliminate a little bit more of that noise to try to pull the signal out.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you guys generally do too, is you'll go in and fidget with the filters in those type of situations?
Oh yeah. All the time.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that you can get that on a filter on a radio this affordable is incredible.
Now, interesting, we've gone up to 300. The station's easier to hear, but also we're hearing some other stations. We're picking them up that are calling him.
You actually, you hear two different stations there, each calling.
Yeah.
So that's where that narrower filter can come in handy again. But if I'm out activating SOTA, there are occasionally chasers that come in, and they're a little ways off frequency for whatever reason, whether it's an old rig or they're just trying to get through the pileup. And if they're a little too far out and I've got that filter set narrow, I can't hear them well. And that can be a problem.
But
and also a lot of the good chasers know that if there's a pileup and you're struggling to pick out a call sign, if they intentionally detune by a few tens of hertz to one side, it gives them a distinctive side tone, and then you can hear them.
Okay, so by narrowing, particularly if you're chasing somebody, that might be effective because it might remove some of the other stations for some people that are new to CW. And then I guess the flip side of that is if it's really narrow and you're having a hard time with a weak signal, you can kind of tune that in a little bit.
Absolutely.
Right? Is that kind of what Adam was saying?
Yep.
So, okay, good.
Right.
Hopefully I'm understanding what you guys are throwing down, but that makes sense to me at least. Obviously to my ears too. Hopefully everybody can hear this on the live stream because that's exactly what it sounds like when you start tightening it down like that. That's super cool. Very handy feature.
Another setting in there, I think Mark had mentioned it too. You can set the basically the offset of the BFO So what frequency, what audio frequency that tone is at. So your CW center, you're at 700 hertz right now.
Yeah.
And if your ears work a little bit better with a little bit lower pitch tone, you can turn that down to 600. If your ears pick up a little bit higher pitch tones better, you can turn it up a little bit.
And that's when you're transmitting?
Range.
This is your side tone?
Well, it's both, actually. It ends up being your side tone when you transmit and the frequency of your received tone when you receive. So you see how that pitch changes?
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're operating for a long period of time, your ears can sometimes get fatigued. So sometimes if I have trouble copying, I'll bump that by 50 hertz one way or the other just to sort of get my brain to pick it up again.
Yeah, I like Jody's comment. CW center adjusts to avoid your tinnitus tone. That's good.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so it will also change your side tone as well, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a couple other Morse code things that we could talk about.
I would love to, yeah.
When you bring up the Putty interface, it's really easy to enter your presets.
Okay.
So when I'm sitting there, I want to call CQ while I'm setting up my log so that I can start hitting the RBN and get people queued up that I'm there. And if you press and hold, let's see, hold on.
Also, I don't have any presets set, so I don't know if that changes
things. Okay, well, I'll show you on mine, and let me plug in a dummy load so I don't blow up my radio because voice of experience. Actually, hold on, I'm going to switch to a different camera. I tried an experiment, and we'll see if this works.
Let's try it.
We're doing it live.
It's definitely the live stream for experimentation. Oh, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it, buddy. Right. You're making it.
So you can see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Great. And then let's see.
I do appreciate the Game Boy Color camera that you're using though here. This is really nice.
There we go. All right. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. So if you double tap. And by the way, I'm into a dummy load. I'm not radiating, so don't judge me for doing CW in the voice portion of the band. But if you double tap here, let's see.
And that's your tune. Okay.
What am I doing? Did I screw something up? Very possible. There we go. So if I double tap there,
wait. What'd you double tap? Sorry.
I double tap the tune knob. So see where it says message, 2 dots next to it? All of the instructions are on the silk screen.
Okay.
So you double tap that. Now, here's the cool part. If you then press the knob one more time, it will play that message once.
Okay. So I didn't understand what you meant by preset. So you're saying preset, like your pre-canned messages that you would transmit. Yes. And obviously you're calling CQ Soda right there. So perfect. Yes, that's exactly what we want.
It's what I do.
Well, right. Yeah. That's, I mean, as someone who's new in CW, I can't imagine calling CQ over and over again. That already scares me a lot. So having it do that work for me sounds really, really good. And I utilize that on the radios that I have it. Yeah.
What you said is important. Calling it over and over again. So if you tap this knob, it will send that message one time. But if you press this button, it will repeat it at an interval that you specify in the menus.
Okay.
So every 10 seconds, roughly, it'll call CQ for me. And I'll show you what that looks like. I'll just tap this button. It'll go into my dummy load. And you can't hear it, of course, but my radio is now calling CQ.
Oh, cool.
So that's a really cool feature. And if you use your computer with Putty, you can just type in whatever messages you want.
Yeah. Boy, we're talking a lot about the Putty, and I want to try it. We'll try it at the end because we're going to lose these guys, at least the audio chain, for a little bit while we screw around with that. I can demonstrate that because it was really, really cool figuring that out too.
So before we switch over too much.
No, we're good. Keep going. We got plenty of other things we got to talk about.
The other Morse code thing I wanted to show you is that you're using your radio with a key, right? So you've got your key.
Yes.
Your radio's sitting on the desk. That means you're sitting. Because you need to be within one chord's length of your radio. But let's say that you're doing a run and gun. You just hit the summit. You threw up your whip antenna, and you're like, I got to get going.
Right.
There's a tool for that.
Okay. Oh, you got the that looks like an N6 ARA key you got there. Hold on, let me center you on that one.
It's not just an N6 ARA key.
Okay.
It's an N6 ARA adapter.
Okay.
And so it holds the key on the QMX. So you just hold the QMX like this, and then you can key with the other hand.
Do you how do you power it when you're doing that?
Oh, really easy. So I use a Nightcore battery.
Ah, we got a PD guy in the house, everybody. All right, I love it.
It's USB-C power delivery.
Yeah.
That goes to a barrel adapter. And I am lazy. I always wear long sleeves. I drop the battery into my sleeve.
He's a magician, everybody. He's a ham-magician.
And that's why I have a 90-degree power delivery cable head, because now I can keep using my Morse code key.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Now, let's say that you don't have a 90-degree adapter. Ara is a genius. And check this out. He designed this adapter. I got to pull this part. He designed the adapter with two orientations. I don't know if you can see this.
I do.
Can you see the double slots?
I do. Yeah.
So if you can't use it what I consider the right way, you can flip the paddle to the wrong way, and now you can key your radio like this.
Oh, that's pretty slick. That's cool.
So I was out hiking with Ara.
Yeah, today, literally today, you were hanging out with him.
Today,
yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, Ara, buddy, that key thing you've got's pretty cool. Does Josh know about this?" And he's like, "No, it's not a product yet." And I said, "Well, it works perfectly. Is it going to be a product?" So he officially launched the product in the car on the way home.
Okay, so this is the first time anybody's seen this. This is brand new stuff. That's cool. So
we're launching a product.
We after talking with Ara, it's very clear, and Mike or Adam, you might have a similar concept. Is he says, "Oh, I just develop things for me," and it turns out that people think it's kind of cool. So I end up selling them because they work for what I'm trying to do, and it's that's good enough for me. Is that kind of the same thing for you, Adam? You're like, I got a problem, and I'm gonna solve it. Dang it! And then it's like, well, actually, people really like this.
That is exactly how it goes.
So Adam just dropped the link for Ara's website. I can't comment that they're there now. They may not be there now. It's literally something we're seeing for the first time. So yeah. Oh, is it on there?
Yeah,
it's on.
Yeah,
oh my God, it's on there. Okay, we got to pull it up. We got
adapter. Yep.
We have to pull
and
this
if you
up.
look carefully, the photos on his website are taken in my car, or at least they were as of an hour ago. He may have updated them. But
he literally took a picture of your car for this. That's cool. Okay,
yeah,
I got
so the one that I have. This is actually Ara's. The one that I have with me is literally Ara's finished prototype device, and he printed 25 of them with his printer on the way home. So yeah, they exist. They're ready to go.
Now there's the pictures in your car. There they are. I found them.
That's my Mazda.
Okay, so keep in mind you do need a tiny paddle to do this. You need the N6 ARA tiny paddle, which you should have. It's the one that has the plug already on it. So let me go back up here so I can show people this guy. It does require this guy.
Yeah.
So you do need that. And by the way, I call this the emergency key. It's the emergy key. Basically, it's if you break something, whatever, you keep this little guy on, you shove it in there, and you're good to go. He's literally got another picture. He also uses the QMX a lot. It looks like too.
Oh yeah. Well, he's been doing this whole tiny Gaunt project.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
That's right.
So the QMX is the perfect radio to pair it with, and that's because the QMX has a built-in tune mode.
We got to show that. Okay.
We've got to show that.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah.
important.
Yeah. So let's go back over here and get this going again. I want to show digital too, but now I'm freaked out. I'm going to lose my my audio, so we're going to have to figure out how to make that work. But so tune mode. I guess let me get on a dummy load because I also don't want to mess with contesters. But this is also why is this important, Mark? Why is this important?
So if you are using a QMX, it doesn't have a power setting. It will output whatever the maximum power is on that band, which for most of the bands is going to be between 4 and 5 watts.
Yeah.
The problem with that is if you start getting a very high SWR while you're trying to tune an antenna, you're going to reflect all that power back into your finals, and that can damage your radio. And we love our QMXs. We don't want to hurt them. So the tune mode allows you to turn down the power of the radio to a safe level for the finals, even at infinite SWR.
Oh,
and
wow.
then put out a continuous tone while reading out the SWR so you can adjust your antenna.
How do I do this, Mark?
Well, let's go into the menu.
Okay, hold long press menu.
All right. And then let's see. Oh, you added a whole bunch of stuff since I was in here.
This is the
last
brand
time.
new. This is a brand new
Yeah.
firmware. Yeah.
Yeah. So go to the hardware tests piece.
Okay.
There you go. And then just flip through until you get to tune SWR.
Hey.
And here you see your frequency. You see the power setting that you've got this radio set at. And when you hit the go button,
Which is what? What's the go button?
What is the go button on this one? There you go. It's the menu button.
Okay.
And when you hit the menu button, you will see your SWR.
Why is it
Now,
saying
in your
10?
case,
That's
is a
not good.
fascinating question.
That's not good.
Mine does not say that.
Okay, hold on. Maybe we got a bad adapter. Oh, hey.
There might be a bad adapter here.
But I would have blown my radio up otherwise if I didn't have the handy-dandy tune.
It's good to check.
That's it.
Oh,
Hey.
dang.
And this is
We
why
caught an
we
adapter
use-
live on the stream, dude. We're throwing this out. Here, listen to the noise of me throwing it out. Hold on. We gotta get the mic way over here.
There we go.
Thrown out. It's gone. It's gone.
And this is why we use the tune function.
That's wow. Yeah, we just didn't expect that to happen. That's fantastic. I was wondering why. I wonder if I damaged this radio because I was using that adapter when I did the calibration. I wonder if I killed this radio.
Oh, for SSB it'll be fine. But if you do the full cal for 30 minutes, that's
I did I did it. The Putty did the whole thing. So this thing
fascinating.
could be not a happy radio, but it's showing 1.25, so I'm getting some amount of power out.
Yeah. So that's fine. So do you have a dummy load with a power meter?
Hypothetically, yes, but I'm not going to do that for the live stream right
Okay.
now.
Because if I
Oh
do
yeah,
mine,
I got to test power output. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because if I do mine, then I can see the power output. I really like these. What are these two? The K5 BCQs. They have a nice little readout.
Show it up. Go ahead. Show that so people can see it again.
Yeah, it's a little kit build, but there you go. But it's a phenomenal tool. They're dirt cheap, and they have a built-in dummy load, and you can just use it as a power meter.
Very good. All right.
Yeah, and then I modified mine, so instead of using a disposable 9-volt, it has a rechargeable 9-volt.
Ooh, that's the slick move.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, so that tune SWR mode is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was using the tiny Gawant, I had earphones in, I hit tune, and it started screaming at me because the tiny Gawant is just building up RF. It's circulating RF because that's what it does.
Yeah, is it on N6ARA's page? Otherwise, I think people don't know actually what the tiny Gawant is.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to go grab one. I'll be right back.
While he's doing that, I'm going to show you my settings real fast for the display. That is something we want to make sure you do too. Is go to, let me go ahead and get out of this. So out of hardware tests, go up, oh, wrong one. Display controls, go into enter that with the menu button. You can do the battery display, but that's going to change depending on your capacity of your battery. But under power SWR display, absolutely, turn that on. And then for S-meter display, I also have that turned on as well. These are not default on, at least on the number of firmwares I've redone on this radio. So make sure you do that too, because those are going to be pretty valuable. Okay. So yeah, there's already people asking for links and stuff for the power meter and everything else you just dropped.
I'm sorry. I do love equipment.
What was it? While you talk, I will pull that up. What was that kit again?
Who makes this one? It's called the Barb-A-Watt, BARB-A-Watt. And I don't even remember exactly where I got this. Barb-A-Watt. It was made by WB2CBA and K5 BCQ.
Okay. Interesting. All right, I'm just going to walk chat through this while I'm doing it. Well, you get set up on your end.
Barb-A-Watt.
So, Barb-A-Watt.
QRP LABS.
Yeah, Barb-Watt? No, that's not the Barb-A-Watt we're looking for. That's not it.
Version.
Okay. Oh, it's QRP Labs.
QRP LABS, yeah.
Oh. Well, I didn't realize that. It's not even linked. Where is it? That's the groups.io for it. I'm trying to find where we can get it for people.
I don't know. Okay, so I got the Tiny Go On.
There's a GitHub link. Oh, Don found it too. Oh, that's it. Okay. Yeah, where do you buy it? You may have to follow us to the after chat as we figure out where to buy this. But yeah, if you're not doing anything, we're going to end this live stream in a little bit, and we're going to go straight over and start another live stream where we take your questions live. And Mark and Adam might be hanging out for a little while to answer questions, but we got a number of other hams that'll be around, and they'll be able to go into details like how does one get a Barbawatt? Because now I want one. We all want one. This is going to be the big talk of the town. I'm assuming it's for QRP, though. Oh, yeah, it says QRP.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, QRP.
Yeah. All right. What are you setting up? Oh, this is the Tiny Go On.
Yeah, so this is sort of the whole system. This is Ara's brainchild. So you can just hold the radio, there's your paddle, and then that's the antenna.
Okay, so show it again. Show it again on camera because I think we...
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a loaded vertical kind of thing, right?
It's not really a loaded vertical, and Ara has an entire video series that people should check out.
Okay.
With a deep dive into what is a Tiny Go On, and it's not what you think it is. The best part is it's not what Ara originally thought it was, and so he's been on a journey of discovery trying to figure out how the Japanese came up with this thing.
Okay.
Originally, it was developed by a guy in Shinagawa. So it's the Shinagawa antenna, so it's the Gawand.
Ah, okay.
So it came out of Japan. But if you take the case off, it's very simple. You have a little polyvaricon, you've got an inductor, and this is a developmental model. It hasn't been fully released yet. And then if you just tune this, you can tune the antenna to a very narrow resonance. And I've made contacts around the country on this. It works. It's obviously a very compromised antenna, but it works.
What are you going to say, Adam?
I think it's sort of functioning as the radiating element. I think is acting sort of like an end-fed half wave, but the tuning circuit is just a tuned LC circuit. So you're finding that resonant point in circulating current, and then you have this piece of wire that sticks out that just leaks a little bit.
Good enough. Good enough.
It's pretty much it's a leaky dummy load, basically.
Yeah.
But
now, everybody watching, do not come at me saying this is not a resonant antenna. We know it's not a resonant antenna, but you've activated with it.
Absolutely,
Because of that tuning circuit, it's basically a resonant circuit in there that just leaks some RF.
That's a better way of saying it. Yeah. It leaks RF. Okay, there you go. I like that. I like that better. But did you activate with that today, or what were you doing?
Not today, but I have done activations with it. I only use it when the band conditions are in decent shape.
Yeah.
And I need to go fast.
Okay. Yeah.
It is the perfect antenna for that. But if you have time to put up a wire, obviously you put up a wire. The reason I took that tangent is because the default tune power setting on the QMX is 50%. Mm-hmm. And it turns out if you have a lot of RF circulating near the QMX with 50% power, it will completely bugger the radio.
Sure. Yeah.
But if you turn it down to 20%, which is a setting, it's fine.
Okay. That's cool.
So my recommendation would be take your tune power and just drop it a little bit because it adds a little bit more margin.
Okay. Man, what else do we need to say about the QMX? Because we're about out of time, although we're going to go a little bit over if you guys don't mind because we missed a couple of minutes there as we were screwing around with Zoom. I do want to try Putty again, but we might lose the audio. So what are some other thoughts, things people must do if they get this Wonder Radio for $100? Like what do they have to do? Oh,
Adam?
He's already holding it up. He's going to Adam.
Go for it, Mark.
Yeah, okay, Mark's excited. He's got his whole kit out here right now. He just came off the mountain. He's dirty. What is it? You're holding up a wire.
This is a USB-C to USB-C cable. Any USB-C to C should work fine. The thing about the QMX that is phenomenal for lightweight field operations is that it has the USB data port.
Yes.
So you can take your USB cable, pop it in. Uh-huh. You take the other end, you pop it into your phone, and then you can do FT8 off your phone.
Yes, we did. We got to talk about digital. Shoot. Okay, I'm gonna try and plug this in, and hopefully we don't bugger everybody on the Zoom call. So hold on one second. Let's see what happens. And I think we lost him. Are you still there? Yeah, but the audio's not coming out. God, why? That's literally me. Just so everybody understands, I'm literally just plugging in a USB cable to the radio, and I lost Zoom audio. So let me see if I can just change. No, my audio is still good. Speakers are good. That's so weird. No, because the Zoom hasn't changed. Well, that's going to be a problem. Okay. Hold on. Let me unplug. Didn't want to do it this way, but I think I have to I think we're gonna have to do like a thing where you guys just head off to the after chat and start talking with folks. Then I'll show people how to set up digital really fast, and then show the putty because. Oh wait. No, I don't think that did it.
Well, since we can hear you, can we just give feedback in the background while you do your thing?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. We just won't hear you. So, okay,
Perfect.
let me check Windows if Windows freaked out. Hold on. I've never had a radio do this before though, so this is a little bit different. So let's see. It did do something. No. Wait, are you there?
I am.
We're here.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay. So
Cheers to that.
Yeah, hold on. So we're doing digital things here. You guys are still there. Hold on. Still there. Good. I don't know why it's being a bit weird here, but obviously if you're doing a radio activation, you don't need to worry about your Zoom call audio making it through. Let's see if we can do this. That's weird. I don't know why I did that, but all right. So we've got some WSJTX rolling here, and oh look, it's unhappy about something. Let's see. It's complaining that the device is not connected. The radio's on, so let's check my device manager.
Do we need to start making FT8 sounds for it to decode?
Well, you're already very accomplished at doing CW sounds, so I don't know that would be unwarranted. I think that it's changed COM port, so it may be unhappy, so we'll see. So here are the settings that I'm using for the QMX. And by the way, if you download the new WSJTX, the version 2.70, so 2.70, 2.7.0, there is actually now a setting for the QMX, so you don't have to use the Kenwood setting or anything like that. It is saying it's on 28, so let's see if it's actually going to do that. No, it did not like that. Yeah, I have a feeling that the radio is not fully USB'd out. That's why it's doing that. So hold on one second. Let's turn the radio off. Gotta love live stream stuff. So when I turn this on, I think we're gonna lose. Did we lose him? You there, Adam? Yeah, we lost him. Doesn't matter. So they're in my ears, guys. We're doing this in the weirdest way possible. I can hear them. You can't hear them. I hear what you're saying. So he's asking me about the mode of operation. Yes, it is. It doesn't matter if it's in CW, but you can change it. So what did we do to change that? We clicked it. So now it's in Digi. It doesn't bring them back, guys. So you can't bring them back. So let's do this real fast with totally muted participants. It's not my fault. So we're gonna go back to settings here. We're gonna go to radio. Yeah, it doesn't like that. Radio, and we're gonna change this. It should be 27. Yeah, there it is. And boom, there we go. So the settings for this is, of course, bring up your device manager and make sure that you have selected the appropriate port for the radio. The radio will sometimes show 2 ports. Go with the lowest number port. And then you want to make sure that your baud rate is 9600, your data bits are 8, your stop bits are 1. You don't need anything for a handshake. And then mode of operation, you use none, and split operation, none. Cat control, Yes, you do want cat control. So I think, let's see if I can get the radio over my head here. There it is. So if I PTT and you see that little line above the A that comes on and off, that's showing that it's PTTing. So if I stop, let's set the audio. Yep, audio's good. So we're in the wrong frequency, so I'm going to tell it to scoot itself down. And there it moved it, so we have cat control. And we should be, maybe? Oh, no, because I'm on a dummy load. Of course not. Now I question everything about that dummy load. What the heck? There we go. The sweet, dulcet tones of FT8. Yeah, there you go. So we have FT8 things happening right now, and sure enough, yeah, we're in there. So if I just find somebody, is anybody rocking a POTA right now? Who's on the late shift here? Anybody? Doesn't look like that. I'll just throw a couple CQs out there just to see if anybody hears us. So, and then I'll switch over to Putty. Guess you guys don't need to listen to FT8 in the background while we do this. I feel like you should have a solid line. Uh-oh. We're getting comments from Mike in the background. Where is he at? I think we're transmitting though, so. And if we go to PSK reporter, yeah, we're getting out there. Looks like it. I am. Let's go with the last 1 hour though. Yeah, so we're still DX. We're getting DX out here, guys. All right. You're getting FT8 audio in the live stream. Should be gone now. Okay. Anyway, so that's that. I'm going to show you Putty really fast too. So let's go ahead and get out of here, and we'll stop this guy. And I'm going to leave him up because this is important. All right, get out of that. Oh, I don't think I understand what Dawn is saying. Dawn, you will tell me in the after chat, I am sure. So make sure you come around to the after chat to figure out what the heck Dawn is talking about. But okay, Putty. So Putty is a remote terminal application, Putty, and yes, this works for this as well. So let me turn this on. Radio's on, and the IP address. Yeah, I don't know what my problem is with my audio. I have to clear those out. But you want to make sure you're on serial, and you're going to set this to whatever the port is. In this case, it's 27, and we are 9600 baud rate, and you hit OK. And then when you do that, and I apologize, I don't have a large enough font for a lot of this stuff, but oh, I'm not getting out. So I see what you're saying, Don. Anyway, so yes, I don't know if it was getting out completely, but I was hearing those stations. Okay. But under here, under Putty, that's where you would do configuration and hardware tests, PC and CAT system, and the whole thing. So if you wanted to do presets for configuration, this is where you can go in and change those memory settings and all that stuff. So there's a bunch of stuff you can do there to be able to manually control it. So those things that Mark mentioned for the hardware checks, doing the SSB calibrations, all that stuff, that's where you would go to do that. So there you go. Okay, there you go. All right, I'm going to exit that. Don't do a factory reset. Let's just exit. You know what? We'll just close it. There you go. Close it. Now I will disconnect the USB because nobody can hear anybody. And maybe you're back. Let's see. Are they back?
Are we back?
There's no reason that should be doing what it's doing. Hans has got black magic in the USB system to make his radio work, and it takes out Zoom meeting calls.
You just never know.
Yep. Anything else, guys? Anything else we want to mention before we...
The only thing I would add is that I also built an amp for my QMX.
Oh! Where did they find this?
So it's the QCX amplifier.
Okay.
And it's CW only, which is, a bit of a trade-off. But if you want, about 50 watts on, let's see, I can send you or post a link here, Josh, if you want.
Where is it? It's just the open case 50-watt PA for the QCX?
Yeah, that's the one. And then I've got pictures of my build here if you want to put them up. I'll post it in the Zoom chat there. So the key is that because it's a monoband amplifier, it only basically that means it only has one low pass filter in it on the output. And if you build alternative low pass filters to bolt onto the output, then you can meet those harmonic suppression requirements and have multiple bands. So I designed a little PCB. Did that?
It's bringing up the N6ARA whenever I pull the link up. So hold on, let me see if I can just copy it. That's weird. God, my computer. Yeah. Apparently I'm going to restart after this because I've got ghosts in my
yeah, that's
my
really
computer.
Weird. I don't know why it did that.
There it is.
No, there it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine did the same thing. That's funny. So so you can see the kit there with the QMX, the amplifier build, and that's with the case and the heat sink on it, and then the other little PCBs with the toroids and the BNCs and the capacitors. Those are the low pass filters that I stick on the output. And so running that with a 5S LiPo, that's the battery pack that I built for it, those pink cells in the blue heat shrink. That gives me about 45, 48 watts on 40 meters, and then 35 or so on 20 meters and 17 meters, 25 or so on 15, and then about 15 watts on 10 meters. So it does pretty well. That's a pretty capable kit there.
What's the and how long can you run for generally if you're playing around with that?
So because of the amplifier design, it's quite power efficient, and I would say that 5S2P 18650 pack will probably last 3 to 5 hours of pretty solid operating. So
yeah, and there it is in action.
Whole kit weighs maybe a little under 3 pounds or so, and to have 50 watts in a 3-pound kit is pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool. 50 watts for you though, Adam. Like, how does that make you feel? Like in your soul, you're thinking to yourself, how do I bring this down? How do I reduce this?
Well, I reduced the size, but sometimes you need a little extra power.
Yeah, I didn't do a good enough job. Make sure you go to k6ark.com because he has a ton of different parts, like for kits that he makes, but he also has like 3D printed stuff that he's designed. They're on printables. You can print this yourself, but he runs through and kits his stuff up, and it's all on Amazon if you want to find it. Not just his antennas, but a number of the other things he does, like his tiny mics. His tiny mics, man, they're amazing. So, yeah, guys, I think we probably hit everything, although we expect another failure at any moment. Anything you guys want to plug or talk about before we head out of here?
The only thing I'd say is that I took a little vacation for the past week, but I will be getting back to prepping kits again. So I'm going to get antenna kits back in stock and microphone kits back in stock. A couple weeks ago, I just got a shipment of cables, so I ran out of the accessory cables, that go with the mics and stuff. So I've got all the parts I need again in stock. I just need to put parts in baggies, and I should have, I would say in the next month or two, I will definitely have microphone kits and more antenna kits back in stock.
Excellent. And Mark, anything you want to mention? I see Ormu in the background. I just said Mark, and Ormu jumped his head up. Like, I don't know if he's paying attention there, but can he hear us right now?
Very helpful.
Yeah.
No, she's just enjoying the company.
Okay.
So Adam, you're going to have your 100-watt kits in stock.
Yes, I'm gonna prep more 100-watt kits.
Yeah. So I I guess I don't have anything to plug on my end aside from my channel, of course, but those 100-watt kits that Adam makes are really fun to pair up with like an 857 or a 991. Yes.
That's your address. Turn it around. Turn it around. Turn it around.
Oh, it doesn't matter. My address is up there.
But I just love building Adam's antenna kits and putting them to use. I mean, my entire life is based around Adam's little transformer units, be it 10 watts or 100 watts. So they're not in stock that often. So if anybody hasn't bought a K6 ARK, antenna kit, you should buy one immediately before Ormu eats them all.
Yeah. Definitely get your hands on some of those because they do move pretty quickly. Big shout out. It is the International Space Station SSTV event. Starts tomorrow. We will be talking about it with Randy on Ham Nation next week. So if you're interested in literally downlinking an image from space, then make sure you check that out. But all right, guys, I think we're good. If you want to hang out with us, we'd love it if you joined us over in the after chat, so you guys can hop on over there while I wrap up the rest of the show. But thanks for being on tonight.
73s. Thanks for having us.
All right.
7-3, everybody. We'll see you in the after chat.
All right. Yeah, so after chat is all about answering your questions. Join over there. You bring your questions. It doesn't have to be about what we talked about. It could be about amateur radio. It doesn't even really have to be about amateur radio. It could even be about CB, GMRS, whatever. We'll try and help you out the best of our abilities. So appreciate you joining us over there. The link is in the video description to our Discord. That's where we go to live voice chats. That's the best way to be able to communicate with us. I will be ending this live stream and starting another one. But before I do that, the Patreon, you guys are, everybody watching, it's either these guys that did a good job in picking this video idea, or if you'd like to change that, you can check out the link in the video description to the Patreon and go check out what we're doing over there. Appreciate the support. This was a very good idea because I'm continually impressed by this radio, right? We've entered into a spot. I did a video on sub $200 QRP radios, and there's actually, it's not a lot. There's a couple of ones that are really good, and this one's probably at the top of the list because you can do so much with it. If you want to do digital modes, you can do digital modes. If you want to do CW, you can do that. Single sideband, sure, why not? And then you get the added controls that Hans has added for tuning the radio and changing the way you sound and adding compression. To be able to add features like that on a radio that is like less than $200 shipped, like less than $200 shipped to your home, fully assembled. There is nothing that exists in the market like that today. I highly recommend it. There's really, for hams that are watching this right now, right? And you're thinking like, what kind of radio should I get? Something that's like a new ham. This would be a great new ham radio. They're not really trying to make the most contacts possible. You can point them in the right direction of building good antennas to make sure they get their signal out there. All that stuff to like build the ham radio competence, this radio will allow them to do, whether they're doing digital or whatever. This is like a perfect radio for that. And kit building. So if they're interested in kit building, they can build it their own. That's amazing. Such a cool device. Hans has now a legacy of making so many good radios, so many good kits. I support everything he's doing. Highly recommend you check him out. And the QMX Plus, all band, right? You can get all the bands. It's a bit bigger. Adam might be not necessarily dragging that up to all the summits, but that's something that is an option too if you want that option. But Corpse a lot, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, man. All right, guys, we are heading out of here. We'll see you in the after chat. Hope you join us. Links are in the video description, and we'll have a live stream going soon. Until I talk to you again, 73.